spooky family, and welcome back to the channel. I figured I would add something new since I'm not just interested in just horror movies, I'm interested in the real life horrors as well. So I figured to once in a while do some videos based off of real life horrors, and one in my research really caught my attention, specifically the case of a female killer, Vera Renczi. And what got me about this one is that some people claim that she existed, everything about her story is true. Others claim that only part of her story is true. And then again, we have a group of people saying that she didn't exist at all, that she is just folklore of the 1920s. So, what I found would be cool is I will go over her story with you in this video, tell you what I think is legit or not at the end. And what I want you guys to do in the Spooky Fam is let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Vera Renczi's story is true, false, or partially true? The best comments I will feature in my next episode of Real Life Horrors. So let's get to it. So here's Vera. She was supposedly a very beautiful woman of her time in the 1920s. She was well to do, didn't really need to worry about anything money wise. She is said to be a black widow. She was cheated on in her marriage, and that is what inspired her to go on to kill 35 male victims. She also ended up killing her two husbands and her very own son. Her weapon of choice is the, ever so popular poison arsenic, especially for back then. What she would do is she would have these men go on dates with her, and of course they were married men. So she was basically seeking revenge for being cheated on, and she would wine and dine them, and she wanted to be like their last love or the last person that they fawned over. And it is said that she would keep them in her basement in zinc coffins because zinc was the most expensive coffin at that time. And what gets me is like that is where the story sounds like it's a little bit not right. She did like to preserve her, you know, killings. She wanted a souvenir from each and every one of them. Sorry, but it feels like to me that for her to have the strength to put them in zinc coffins by herself is a little bit iffy to me. I do think she did keep the men in the basement. It is said that a wife of one of the fellows reported him missing, and she suspected Vera. And the police went down into the basement and found the missing gentleman amongst the victims in her basement. So I do think she did keep them in the basement, but I do find it very hard, unless she had some sort of, Frankenstein laboratory kind of basement, for her to lift up a dead male body with like pulleys or something. Maybe she was crazy enough to have that, I don't know. um but she definitely would get sad when they started to deteriorate, so a basement would be the perfect place for her to preserve it because it's cooler down there. But for the coffins, I'm a little iffy on that, and so are many others. As for the most part, I didn't really find anything that said that she didn't exist at all in my research. Maybe I might have missed something. But, in that time period, in the 1920s, I believe that there were a lot of specifically female killers from that time that got away with their crimes just because it wasn't believed that gentle flowers would do this. So I mean, that time period is really strange. Not as bad as like the 1800s or the 1700s, but it's still a strange time period, and I think a lot of people, got away with a lot of crap at them, men and women, and creepy children. So let me know down in the comments below, do you think Vera Renczi existed? Do you think her crimes were true? And, or do you think, do you think she actually had those coffins down there? How do you think she would do it? A dead body's pretty heavy. I don't know. That part's the only questionable one to me. I do feel like a woman could, especially in that time period, um, you know, poison her lovers and drag them to the basement. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to making more, and I will see you guys next time. If you are new to the Spooky family, please feel free to subscribe. We do a lot of crazy videos on Thursdays, as long as I can, keep up my schedule. Bye.